Hello all, I hope you guys can hear me. I apologise for the delay in qualifying. Unfortunately, just some tech issues, but I think we are now good to go. For the race, I'll take you through the grid order just as I change my audio settings, and then we will get going for the final race of the season here in CRF4. It's gone unbelievably quickly, to be honest, but yeah, actually, we will unfortunately have to DNF, so we won't get turn 1, but after that we will get the remainder of it. So let's just have a quick look through the race. What actually has Mike leaves, unfortunately. Let's try and get an invite across to him. I'll run you through the order as we get going. I'm presuming it'll be give Mike a little invite there. So let's start here if we can. It's coming down into turn 1 here. It looks about 3 wide. Apex keeps taking the lead for the time being with Gattis in P2, P3 for Supra, P4 Labradan, P5 Ellis Kuma, Sighted in P6, Polo in P7 with Halan P8, Smithy P9 and PS in P10, rounding out the top 10 there. We have Jackman from the back as well, of course having that qualifying ban for this race, so he's going to have to propel his way up to the field, looking back on board with the leaders. Stay on board with them down here as I get the standings up for you guys, because I think Tier 3 is a little bit closer in terms of championship-wise, but it is going to be interesting in this final race where people can place, of course, as the Aston Martin of Syndical goes round the outside of Smithy, making a really nice move there, and Mr. Elite Fear looking for a move as well, as we see Alice Kuma round in the McLaren, and he's down to the back, and that's going to be terrible news for him. Hallan going for a move as well, and Sighted round the outside, makes that move stick. Good job from him, as TTV Syndical is getting pressurised by Mr. Fear Elite. It's very close between these two for now, and coming down, and it looks like Syndical was slightly pushed off, but he might be able to put his nose in there. No, he can't, unfortunately, for him. Let's get the quick. Come on. Tier 4, here we go. The standings. We got them. Unfortunately, I'm entirely sure we do have it. Anyway, let's have a look for the last race, who it's going to be close between. So we've got Turbo obviously not racing today, so his championship's likely going to be over if Apex does well enough today. And then it's going to be a battle between Jack and Smithy, the two teammates, and Gattis could get involved in that with Pias as well. So that's going to be interesting there. Of course, Avatari already having won the Constructors' Championship. They are the winners there, so nothing will change at the top. Oh, no, hang on, we might have them. We do have them. We do have the standings. Let's have a look at them now. So, as we speak, we have, yes, Constructors won by Alvatari. Mercedes on 149. They are battling away with Alpine and Red Bull for that for that runners-up spot in P2. And then that battle for 5th will be between Ferrari, Haas, McLaren, Williams, and Alfa Romeo, with Aston Martin most likely bringing up the rear of the field, as Mike unfortunately DNFs as he leaves the session again. I think there's some technical problems going on there, unfortunately for him. So yeah, if we look at the standings, so now as Jack goes for that move on Syndical, getting his way up now, side by side down into turn 1. Is Syndical going to be able to hold it? He is going to try and hold it on Jack, and there's contact, and PS and Syndical are unfortunately coming around turn 1, and Syndical is out of this session, and that is a safety car on lap 3, the start of lap 3. Bit too early for pit stops, I'm sure, at this point, so this is going to cause a little bit of issues for the front runners who don't want to pit. But the likes of Jack might be able to come in for a fresh set of tyres now and try and push their way up. So, as we speak, in the final race here, we have Josh, who's leading the way but is not here for this race. So he is leading the way right now with from 5 points to Apex Capes, who is right now in P2. on 112. We have the battle between the two Mercedesmen and Gattis. Jack leading the way from Smithy and then Gattis, and then we've got Pias in a bit of a world of his own. And then battle for P7 is between Sighted, Labrat Dan, Alex, Mr. Elite Fear, and Mike, unfortunately, going out. So he is not going to score any points there for him. And that is really going to affect his championship, I'm sure. So as we speak now, Apex Keeps will be the World Drivers' Champion. He's doing enough right now. All he needs is a safe race. And, of course, Gattis is doing a good job as well where he is to really propel himself up as Jack and Smithy are down in the lows of the top 10. A little bit of faking there by the top couple of drivers coming into the pits. We're going to see any stops, though. We've sighted into the pits. What else have we got in the background? Let's try and move our way back to see if we do have any pit stops. Doesn't look like two Mercedes coming in. I'm not entirely sure about that one from them, but it only looks like it will be the two Alpines coming into the pit lane on lap 3, and they will both fall to the back of the pack, respectively. So you see a position change. Top 4 staying where they are right now. To be fair, Super and Dan doing a really good job there in P3 and P4. As Halline comes with the P5, however, does have a time penalty, so that may affect them in the later in the race. We got Mr. Fear Elite and Jack in P7 and P8 also doing a good job. Jack from the back of the grid making his way up through the field. He's going to need to do it as soon as he can if he wants to try and hold on to that P3 position in the World Drivers' Championship, which is definitely going to be what he wants to do here in CRF4, where he hasn't had so much luck, but even a P3 against the two infamous AlphaTauris would be a really good job for them. Let's move on to tyres. So everyone is on the opting for the medium tyres. Half Sighted his box onto those hards. So he will maybe be trying to run it all the way to the end. It's going to be a lot of laps to make it to the end, but there's maybe a possibility. I know this track has high tyre wear, which really does affect performance towards the end of people's stints, which is why I'm sure the hards will struggle to get to the end. But I've seen that, you know, these medium tyres can run their way all the way through till about lap 16 or 17. So, you know, only 25 laps on those hards might just about be possible if you can protect them. But I'm sure there might also be another safety car towards the end of this one. So just keep an eye out for that. I personally don't think it is going to go perfectly well in terms of sighted strategy, but do his best. Big Van Balski boxing. Well, no, it is Jack who's boxing. So Jack is coming into the pits lap late, so maybe he's thinking about going to the end on those hard tyres. He is. So he's delayed it by 1 lap there, and he's thinking to go to the end. Might be the right strategy for him. I know he's much further back, so this might be the right call for Jack. For now, he's only lost a couple of positions there. Going to be on those fresh tyres. Should have the pace on a lot of the guys around him, and might be able to push himself up through the field, and then get to the front when everyone pits, and then hope for no more safety cars towards the end. I'm sure will be his strategy come the end of this one. It's unfortunate to not see Josh here today with some hardware issues, unfortunately, which has hurting today. I believe that's the reason why, or he's just busy. But this is going to basically mean it's all Apex's to lose in this race, and he needs to finish this race strong, get some points. We know he's been only consistent at times this season. He's had unbelievable pace, but has had some inconsistency, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does today. He's going to see how interesting he does today on keeping it on the track realistically. That is all he needs to do backing up the pack here. Is Gattis is almost getting alongside and Gattis is going to be the one to react. Is Apex going to go yet? Safety car peeling into the pits now. Doesn't seem like we've gone yet. May have gone now. It doesn't look like it. Yes, we have. Just coming into the final corner. Apex bolts away and gets a decent restart there. 4/10 gap to Gattis, and all the rest behind come through turn 1. Supra also staying on the back of these guys. The Ferrari and Haas and P3 and P4 doing also a brilliant job where they are. Trainer setup problems are unfortunate, man. And that's Alex Kuma out, and that's a VSC after lap 1. That's unfortunate for Alex Kuma, who's been very strong and was looking to maybe boost himself in the championship, but it was very close in that midfield. But he has unfortunately retired from the session on lap 6, and that is going to be a VSC neutralising the race once again, but it's only going to be a short neutralisation, and we will be back racing in a moment. Everyone's going to need to be careful here in case they do speed. Definitely, Apex can be careful with that one, I'm sure. Make sure he does not speed to keep himself in this battle. It does not seem like we are going away from VSC just yet. As we know, we do go green flag racing. It does not look like anyone got a drive to penalty there, so that is good news. As we know, the VSC Delta is sometimes very weird, and around this track also can be quite a dodgy system. And it's very easy to get a drive through, as that is unfortunately Supra making a mistake, and that is Dan through into P3. Supra just holding on to the McLaren behind, as we do see also Sighted getting ahead. Or I think that's actually Pias getting ahead, and Jack is going to go for the move on Sighted down the inside on those fresh hards. Is he going to make the move on Sighted? Going to be side by side into turn 2. They're still side by side. Jack's just about leaving the room, and they are still side by side. Maybe some contact there, I'm not sure, as Sighted gets further away, so I'm sure maybe there was a little bit of contact there, and Jack was forced off by Sighted. That is not going to be good news for him at all. Not at all. As now we've got a little bit of battle for P1. Gattis Mickelson going down the inside of Apex Capes into the hard braking zone of one of the first long straights. And coming off the exit, Gattis is still there, but it's very close between the guys behind, with Mr. Elite Fit getting ahead of Hallan and Smithy in P7. P8 is Polo, who looks like he's dropped back, and there's no change from position up front. And we do see Hallan going down the inside, flashing already, so he's using all of his ERS to try to stay where he is, and Mr. Elite Fear might be pressurised by Smithy, and it is very, very tight coming through the exit there, almost losing the rear was the Ferrari. Jack also has 1.4 seconds to catch now to Pias. After all that, he's got ahead of his rival Sighted there after a little bit of contact, I'm sure. He won't be happy about that at all, but he's now going to have to catch that time, get within DRS and Pias, and then slingshot off him over to the Alfa Romeo, Big Van Bowski ahead, as we now see Gattis sizing the move, as we're going to go on board with the Red Bull driver. Looking for a move right now, with a little bit of lag involved, unfortunately, on our end of the stream. But he goes for the move down the inside, makes the move stick. We're going to see him stay for the AlphaTauri and get a slingshot. Yes, he does, but Gattis now has the DRS, the ERS. He's going to go past him down into the heavy braking zone and makes that move stick. No changes there, as Mr. Elite Fear gets ahead of Hallan, and the AlphaTauri is going to have to hold station, but might go for a move again down on the second of the long straights. Hasn't got the best of exits, I can't lie, so he might not have the superior pace to get past him, but is he going to look outside or inside? Doesn't look like he's going to go for anything there, as we also see Gattis getting overtaken there by Apex again on the straight. Apex got that ERS and made that move stick again, so we got now a four-man train up front, which is going to be great news for them, and we have a couple of guys behind also. Smithy makes a move, and that is Hallan, unfortunately, having a spin, it looks like, and he's in the wall, and he's not moving, but he's still in the race, so he might be able to keep on going here if he gets around. Obviously, can't cut the pit lane line there, but he is going to carry on in this race, which is always good news. Got no front wing, unfortunately, though, for him. And we now have Gattis trying to size a move on. Apex keeps ahead. I think it is going to be down to this corner unless Gattis is going to play the patient game. Looks like he is going to play the patient game. Going to look for the next straight to get ahead of his rival Apex at the moment. Looking for that win is Gattis. He's obviously had brilliant pace in this tier, and he's doing a good job right now to pressurise the Avatarian up ahead. Is he going to go for the move down into the infamous corner where Hamilton almost made the move on Verstappen on the final lap again, but unfortunately did not have the grip on those old tyres, hard tyres. But on this time, Gattis has made that move ahead of Apex, but unfortunately, I think a little bit of lag there, and Apex is back into P1, and Gattis falling back into the clutches of Labrador, unfortunately for him, but these four still holding that DRS train, which is great news for them. Any more battles further behind, as we actually also see Jack having got ahead of a couple of guys, and that's Hallen, unfortunately, out of the race, and that is going to be a VSC. I'm not entirely sure how he's been that, to be honest, but yeah. He has, unfortunately, had to retire from the race there, and he is down in P10, but that's going to be a VSC. And the one driver making use of this is Big Van Balski, going and presuming onto those hard compound tyres, using this VSC wisely, and going to lose a minimal amount of time as he is going to be under the VSC for this time. Adrian in P10 also going to be make use of this VSC, and Big Van Balski is going to make full use of this VSC, getting the entire time under pit lane under VSC conditions, getting that pit stop done, and I'm sure now he's right back in there for maybe one of the top positions. Of course, he's going to have to showcase some decent pace to stay where he is, but yeah, I mean, even now, Adrian still coming out the pits now, and we're still in the VSC, so he's going to gain a lot of time from this as well, which is great news for him, as Andy Ring is now going to be almost identical with Adrian coming out the pits, and that is still VSC. I thought I was going to get green flag racing there, but we are still not going, and now we are. Doesn't look. Oh no, Gattis cold tyres, and he's spun around from P2, battling for P1, and he's going to have to get himself going again as Jack's going to come through now. And he's now all the way down in P8, losing an absolute bunch of time. And that is not great news for him. Looking for the win there, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Also, we also do have Labrador, who I think may drop out of DRS here of Apex, and that's brilliant news for Apex, because all he needs here is a nice safe race towards the end, not too much pushing as Gattis was doing to him, and that is Supra around as well. So two of the top four, unfortunately, having a mistake, and they're right back down into P7 and 8, and that is absolutely devastating for them guys. As also Labrador does fall off, so that top four has just been absolutely broken apart, and Apex Keeps is now going to be able to focus on his race, but is Dan going to be able to get into the DRS on the next straight? Because if he does, he still may have a chance of holding that DRS train with Apex. I'm not sure if he's going to have quite the pace to do it. Looks like he's just about a tenth out. Oh no, he's 9/10 now. He may have just got that. I'm not sure. Let's watch and see if he does open that DRS. Doesn't look like it. So he has not made the he's not made it inside the detection point while he was in that 9/10 period, and he's now going to have to try and push to stay where he is, as Smithy is going to be attacked by Mr. Elite Fear. Round the outside goes Smithy, as he pushed a little bit wide by Mr. Elite Fear, and that is him ahead, the Ferrari ahead, and Pias in P5 on the medium tyres. Also Jack in P6 on those fresh hards, and you know, as I said, he still may have a chance at possibly going for the win tonight, but it is going to have to work out fully for him, as we now see Labrador actually surprisingly holding on to the back of Apex. So maybe Apex not pushing his battery too hard and just allowing Labrador to be inside that DRS for now. It's not too bad, to be fair, because they can just DRS train each other away from the pack behind. That might be the best strategy they can do at the moment before the pit stops do occur, just to not lose as much time as they possibly can. As we have Labrador 8/10 behind us. I don't think he'll go for a move, especially into this corner. Maybe the next one if he does have the straight line speed, but I'm sure he's probably happy sat in behind just for now. We've seen Apex's brilliant pace during this race, and obviously qualifying, I think, on in P1 and P2. So he's doing a brilliant job also. As we see Smithy also getting down the inside of or somewhere, but he's down to P4, and Pias is now going to be pressurising the Mercedesman as well. Pias going round the outside of that and going to maybe try and make the move all the way around, slingshot all the way around side this one, but no, looks like Pias, Smithy has dropped back, but now Smithy is going to need to get out of the way of his teammate of Jack. I'm sure it needs to happen now. Can't have Smithy ahead, but he is still staying ahead, and that is not good news for the Mercedesman behind on those fresh tyres in a completely different race, really, for him. I'm sure they're going to have to try and switch positions down into turn 1 to try and give the maximum performance they can for Jack, otherwise he's going to lose too much time. But I think it will possibly look like that's going to happen. No, Smithy pulling to the inside, pulling to the outside, to be fair, does still have a 4/10 gap, so maybe Jack doesn't have as much pace as we did think he was going to have. But, I'm not sure what's going on here, as Jack does get ahead eventually, but this might have dropped them outside. Yeah, that has dropped them a lot of time. Jack outside DRS and is now going to have to push himself back inside that DRS point. As we also have Dan leading the way in this Grand Prix in the Haas in P1 as Apex looking for the move. Is he going to go for the move down the inside? No, he doesn't. He backs off and he's going to go for it again on this straight. Going to go for the second bite of the cherry and go for it again as we see Pias getting ahead of Mr. Elite Fear and Smithy also getting ahead of Jack. Not entirely sure what's going on here between the two Mercedes boys at all. I'm not sure this is working out at all. They're 2 seconds behind now. There's this group ahead, and this is really bad news for the Mercedes bunch that are trying to get a decent result here. As we see Apex Capes making that move on the straight from Labrad down, as Gattis also gets ahead of Supra after those two had a mistake a couple of laps ago. They're trying to make their way back towards the group of the Mercedesmen, or Mercedesmans, actually. And now Labradan going for the move once again into P1, making that move stick, and I'm sure Apex is going to come back past here on the second bite of the cherry. All these, as I said, need to do is just do a bit of slipstreaming, and they will make their way up through the field. The Super also gets ahead of Gattis again. That's Polo getting ahead sighted as well down the main straight. Very split right now in terms of the mid front and back pack, unfortunately. But maybe a safety car later on will bring them into play, of course. Like that will happen, as we'll see Labradan and Apex coming into the pit lane. So they do want to make that pit stop. We also have Mr. Elite Fears. Pias goes around for the lap. Jack also going around with Smithy. Also going round, Gattis and Supra also going round. So what tyres are we all going to go on to? I'm guessing they are going to be hard. And it does look like it is going to be hard for the top 3. All coming out ahead just behind Supra for now. Yeah, so about a 5-second odd gap to Supra ahead. And they are going to want to find that time to get themselves back into it. Of course, Jack as well on this hard. Is he going to be able to survive to the end on them tyres? That is the real question I have at the moment. How is he going to be able to fare on those tyres? And is he being caught by the drivers behind is also something to think about. As Apex has got a decent gap right now to Labrat Dan, and clearly Apex having the better pit stop of the bunch. And Dan has dropped down. see how it. I'm presuming the rest of the pitters will come in this lap also. Make that move to cover off all those that pitted the lap earlier. As we do see PS coming into the pits. And we will also, oh no, Jack's going round, Smithy in, Gattis also going round with Supra in. And let's see where we have PS coming out. If I can get on board with him, he's coming out of the box now. And will have lost quite a decent amount of time from where he was. Unfortunate for him, that is the case. Stream snacks, the M&M Crispies coming in clutch. Of course. As Jack actually gets a 3-second time penalty. That is bad news for him. I was looking to go towards the end as also Gattis comes into the pits. Try and cover off those who pitted a little bit earlier and have some fresh tyres towards the end. He's going to go onto those hard tyres also. Gattis has lost a lot of time going for that overcut there and just actually really dropped back a significant amount. Apex is only 5 seconds off the lead right now. Really going quickly at the moment. And it's looking like he will win the CRF4 championship this season if he can just hold on to it. Which would be really good news for him, as unfortunately in Tier 3 he's not had the most luck at all. But he's doing a better job today. Really commanding it right now while P2, but I think it will be soon to be P1. Also, a massive shout out to all our sponsors, of course. See this almost every week, but a massive shout out to the likes of, NordVPN, Xidax, Pitlane Prince, Fiverr, Rogue Energy, Dhabi, all them lot that really do support us here in our F1 endeavours and our ACC endeavours, of course. Really big thanks to them, and of course you wouldn't be able to do this without their support. That being said, and if any sponsors are looking at coming on board with CRF, we are always open to that. So make sure to give me a DM in our Discord if that is the case. As of course we do have our ACC side, so maybe give that one a check out as well. We do have, actually, to announce right now, we do have a Endurance Championship 2024 running in the new year between February and November, and that is going to be definitely an interesting one with $2,700 up for grabs during the season. So make sure to come and watch that. I'm sure that is going to be a very competitive year in terms of teams entering. And the first round will be Bathurst on the third or second week of February. So make sure to come and watch us for that. And we also do have a charity event for Dementia UK on the 13th of January, 2024. So make sure to come and watch us for that. There are 2 events coming up after the Spa event we did have last weekend, which was a very big success. Absolute success. So make sure to go watch that over on our Twitch as well. But yeah, back to the action. Apex keeps 7 tenths now behind Jack. Really gaining. It wouldn't surprise me if Jack may have to botch some softs here. He doesn't have the pace. But Apex might even go for the move into the heavy braking zones here. I'm not sure. Looking for the move. He's going to sit back though for now. Dan though with some incredible pace right now. 1 tenth behind. Is he going to make it inside the DRS range? I think we might have done there. And Jack just lets through Apex. And that also puts through Dan, who's then into P2. So Apex and Dan doing an awesome job right now. Looking behind though, we do have Smithy, only 6 tenths behind, the Supra ahead. Maybe starting the move also. Nothing to be had there for now though. Pias has also boxed, I think, onto a fresh set of mediums. Yes, Pias onto a fresh set of mediums right now. Just to take a look, right? Full lap on mediums. I wasn't even thinking about this. He's 1.7 seconds off Jack. And he's got some awesome pace right now. That's going to be an interesting one to see towards the end, of course. Also, Ganesh coming through the field might be able to work his way up through that pack. Actually, let's go on board now with Jack, who's actually having to pit. So he hasn't been able to make these tyres last the whole race. And we'll go on to a set of soft compound tyres, I'm sure. And try and bolt his way through the pack towards the end here. Where's he going to come out? It's going to be about Big Van Skills having to pit off those hard, probably just another set of softs. So he's going to come out about P9 here. Just behind Polo. Does look like. Yeah, we'll just come up behind. But yeah, let's keep an eye on Pias as he tries to work his way through the field at this point. Doing a good job right now. 5.3 behind. Can he gain on those 2 drivers that are DRSing each other? I think it's going to be tough. Considering they have got that DRS active. But something to look at. Labra Dan, by the way, 2 tenths behind Apex now. So his Apex tyres slightly falling off, I'm not sure. But Dan is really pressurising the Alpine ahead. Really, really got some immense pace. I mean, if he wins this race, you know, I think that's a clear drive of the day for me. Absolutely unbelievable, this race. To stay with definitely one of the quickest drivers in, you know, the top from tier 2 to tier 4. You're staying with him. He hasn't had all the pace in the world all season, but this week he is really showing his all, trying to go for this win, and mad respect considering where he has been in the entirety of the season. Really, I think he's improved all the way through the season, to be fair. I think the last couple of races, Dan has all been pressurising the guys ahead, and he's really doing a good job as such. And he might be able to look for his first win. I am, to be honest, rooting for him for his first win. So that'll be interesting to see as Supra gets ahead of Mr. Elite Fear. Got the pace as such, and Gattis also trying on through the field. But it's taking a little bit longer for him to get through, which is not going to be great news for him. Sorry, boys, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. As Gatis goes removed round the outside of Supra, making them not the move stick, and Apex and Dan are side by side right now up ahead, trying to get on board with them. Dan is just behind, but Apex is also flashing, and this is on the second to final lap. All spicing up for the lead, of course, but it does look like Apex will win his first ever CRF World Championship with Supra in P5 and Gatis in P4. Supra going for the inside of the move on Gatis, but Gatis is going to hold that one this time. Supra going for the exact same attack as Gatis did the last lap, but it hasn't worked for him. Jack making it ahead of Mr. Elite Fear, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to pull off away from those drivers and will finish in P8, unfortunately for him, from the back of the grid today. As Dan is 7 tenths behind. So I'll come down to the final lap now. We'll go on board with Labrat Dan 6 tenths behind. Apex is flashing, and Dan has got slightly more battery to play with here. Is he going to look for the move down to the first corner? I doubt he will. He'll probably go for the second corner if he can, as he's going to get 2 bites of the cherry coming down on this final lap of the Tier 4 Championship. The final lap of the Championship, I don't believe we've got here now, but we have made it to the final lap here in Tier 4, and Dan is going to size up the move coming down into here, where Max and Hamilton had their side-by-side moments in 2021. Is he going to be able to get past this time, or is it going to be a repeat of what happened in 2021 coming around this corner? And Dan going around the outside, is he going to make that move stick? Apex puts his nose there, and it is so close between these two drivers. Dan going around the outside, can he make his first win ever happen in CRF? Still holding it to the inside. Apex going around the outside, but Dan is falling back. He doesn't want to risk it all. He's got a brilliant result as of now. And it does look like he is going to be able to win the race, win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and he is also going to win the CRF4 World Championship. Apex keeps your new world champion of Tier 4, winning the 3, super on track, taking a P4. Unfortunately, Gatis will take that though, and will take a P4 after that spin. Super in P5, good result by him. Jack will also drop a couple of positions down, as Jack comes over the line in P6, but will drop down Mr. Elite Fear in P7, with Smithy actually taking P6, P8 for Jack, and it will be Polo taking that P9 position. And will it be Big Van Balski or Sighted to the end? It is so close in terms of penalties there. Only Big Van Balski 6 seconds behind. Sighted coming around the final corner now. What is he going to be able to do? Gets P10, but is Big Van Balski just going to be able to take the final points position off him? He goes a little bit wide, and it is going to be, oh no! He's missed out by 1/1000th. 1/1000th. That is unbelievably close to the final points paying position, and Sighted does hold on to that. But congratulations to Apex Capes, the CRF4 World Drivers Champion. He's got the double here with the constructors as well with Josh, and here's the man of the moment, winning his first ever CRF World Championship, and that is a brilliant one for him to see, and I'm sure many more to come in the future from the Avatari driver. I think we will see him also in Tier 2 next season, so he will not be driving in this tier. Actually, he will be driving this tier, but it will be on a different day. There's going to be some slight changes for the next season. But we will see him driving, of course, I think in possibly 2 tiers, which is always nice to see. So Gatis was your race, no sorry, not Gatis, Apex was your race winner, Labratan in P2, PS P3, Gatis P4, Supra in P5, and then we'll take you through the race director, just for any after race penalties we do need. Go through this, got a lot of warnings in this race surprisingly, but it is very hard on track limits, of course, so I'm not surprised by that. We'll go through the pit stops just in case we need them, and then that will be it for CRF4 this season. We of course will be back for Season 5 in the new year after Christmas. I think we're starting our first race here in Tier 4. It will be on the first Thursday, I'm pretty sure, in January, I'm pretty sure. First Thursday back. Make sure to come and join us then. It's going to be a brilliant season, Season 5. Or Season 6 now, it'll be Season 6, so CRF Season 6. Make sure to come and join us back for that. But of course, we do have the Championship deciders in Tier 2 on Saturday. It's 7:30 GMT. Sunday, Tier 1, 7:30 GMT. That has actually been tied up, the Championships, but it's a great one to watch, definitely Tier 1. And on Monday, the really, really tight Championship battle at 7:30 GMT. Tier 3 have been unbelievably close all season. So make sure to come and watch that on Monday, same time. But anyway, that's been me. Thank you to everyone who's watched all season, of course. And I'm sure I will see you in the new season. Goodbye, guys.